in collaboration with B Value Counseling Sessions. Today, I'm sitting with the renowned personality, Dr. Anuradha Rana. Dr. Anuradha Rana is a renowned gynecologist of Pathankot. She is an alumni of IGMC Shimla. Hi ma'am, how are you?
Hi Devika, good morning.
Good morning ma'am. You have been in this field since past 14 years. So how has your experience been?
Devika, I feel in 14 years, as in I have been practicing in Pathankot since last 14 years.
Okay.
My husband was in the army, so I was moving with him in all his postings.
Okay.
But I came here 14 years back.
Alright. And how has your experience been so far?
Very good. It has been a very good city for me. I like it here.
Okay. And what's the best lesson you have got in these years? As a doctor, as a gynecologist, the best lesson you have learned?
Very tough question. Lessons from Pathankot. See what? I never thought I would settle here. I do not belong to this place.
Okay.
I belong to JNK, and my husband was posted here. It's a long story to cut short. When he came here, he practically went to every gynecologist for a job for me.
That's okay.
Because I was shifting with him. He did his MD from Bombay, so I was in Bombay, then I was in Hyderabad. And when he came here, it was like any other 4G couple, find a job. So I started in a very small place. I started practicing in Sujanpur. But it's really history, So I used to commute for 8 hours, 8 kilometers, sorry, not 8 hours. I used to commute from the camp to Sujanpur. And as a gynecologist, you get night calls and everything. And I used to, sometimes I have to go 4 times a day.
Oh.
But what I tell my children also today, it's never too late to start. I started when I was 42 years old. I started my practice,
Okay.
So, but hard work really pays.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. And as you know, these are tough times. COVID-19 is on. So there might be ladies coming, and I don't know. The situation in Pathankot is much better than in Delhi and Mumbai. Yeah. But a lot of people are suffering, and their mothers who are pregnant with babies, and they can get COVID. So what precautions are you taking as a hospital?
Devika, you know what? Like COVID, we're following all guidelines,
Yes.
The government has given you guidelines. See how much, what is to be sanitized, how many times you got to sanitize your hospital, and what precautions you have to take in your OT, and whether you have to get, each patient has to be COVID tested or not.
Right.
So you see, we are following all guidelines, but sometimes, see, when your patient comes in emergency, so we may not be doing COVID tests for all patients.
Right. Yeah.
But definitely, we are doing all precautions.
Okay. And PCOD and PCOS have become very common. I think 3 out of 5 women are getting affected by it. So what is it? What is PCOS?
You want to know about polycystic ovaries? Okay, fine. See, it's a very big topic.
Yes.
You know what? So, in a very nutshell, basically, you have the younger population now being affected.
Yes.
Because mothers are very aware.
Right.
So it is a totally hormonal imbalance. And see, you have girls as young as 13, 14 coming to you and mothers saying, because of obesity, generally they come to you with, they want counseling for obesity. But slowly you have to talk about polycystic ovaries also. So it is, the basic thing is, in the body you have more of the male hormone,
Okay.
You have androgen excess. And androgen excess is because of the basic pathophysiology is insulin resistance. It will be tough for you to understand.
Okay.
But yeah, very difficult for you, but basic carbohydrate metabolism is affected. So you have excess androgen means you'll have hirsutism, you have delayed cycles, you have difficulty in conception, so many things. But anything you want to particularly ask me about PCOS, which is a very long topic.
Is it a life change? Is it a lifestyle change?
Treatment?
No. Is it a lifestyle change in the sense?
You mean because lifestyle
Yes,
is changing,
changing, yes.
so the girls are getting PCOS? That is what you are
Yes,
asking
yes.
me? See, I treatment, definitely they tell you, okay, you need lifestyle modifications. But whether PCOS is occurring because the girls are obese, they're not exercising, they're eating a lot of fast food, I really will not be able to tell you. Whether obesity is causing PCOS or PCOS is causing obesity, I don't think they are definitely interconnected. But yes, lifestyle of girls, definitely yes, it is going to affect. The environment is going to, because you have genetic factors and environmental factors which is causing the PCOS. Definitely the lifestyle would affect that. Definitely.
Okay. And ma'am, prenatal depression and postnatal depression are part of the pregnancy, right? So mind and body are interconnected. So what are your suggestions? Because ladies, they go through a lot of post-delivery depression.
So there is a definite entity. There is a definite entity which is called postnatal blues.
Yes.
That is postnatal blues. बोलते थे कि भाई the patient when delivers, not being able, she cannot take care of herself, she's not taking care of her child. So now it is a definite entity. It's a definite entity that women really go depression. Yes, it's been checked out. Since you're a psychologist, you know. And antenatally, what you said, prenatally also women may go into depression. There is no entity as such, but generally women are very stressed. As today, everybody is conceiving late. They're working women, they conceive, say, after 30, 32, so many queries and so many, the stress factor is there.
Okay.
But postnatal depression is an entity, but prenatally, there is no entity such a
Okay. And is there any right age for conceiving, or is it like any time after your 25, 26, or is it any limit to that?
This is a very tough question for me. See, there is no, what is a woman's reproductive age? What is the best age for a woman, which you say, good reproductive age? Any women who conceives after 35, we call it an elderly women. So definitely you would say, okay, you conceive before that age, at least first pregnancy you have before 35.
Right.
So best age would be, say, 20 to 30 or a good reproductive age,
Right.
where you're not expecting some genetic or a chromosomal anomaly with that. So I would say before 35 is a better planning pregnancy. If I tell my patient, I counsel them, what you want to say, conceive before 35, better.
What about IVF? A lot of women who cannot conceive, they go for IVF. How successful is it?
See, Devika, these are all you have data for it. You have what questions you're asking me, all statistics.
Yeah.
So, but generally, what they say is in a very good center, a very good, say, IVF center in Bombay or Delhi, anywhere between 18% to 25%. That is the success rate. But if somebody is really advertising, we have 45%, 50% success rate. Oh my God.
There was this really good movie called Good News. Which
Oh yes,
Kareena Kapoor.
very cute movie.
Very nice movie.
Very nice movie, and in fact they held that topic very sensitive topic very nicely. So IVF success rate, very good centers is 35% and okay centers 18%.
Okay.
That is
Statistics. Can you give a message to aspiring gynecologists? One message for them.
Message regarding what do you say,
Like any girls who want to become gynecologists in the future. So a message for them.
See, Devika, as of now, young girls are really not going for these clinical subjects because it's a very tough job. There is no personal life. You know, you're not taking care of your children because anytime you go home, there's a call. Because deliveries don't have any time. And maximum they'll be delivering in the most oddest of times.
Okay.
So what I feel is that if anybody wants to take this profession, one has to be very dedicated and one has to do it dil se.
From your heart.
From your heart. Like you want to be a surgeon, you want to be. So number one, your family has to be very supportive. Your husband has to be very supportive. Your in-laws have to be very supportive.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you go for a paraclinical subject. That's what I feel.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And these days there's so much to do. Like you can go into counseling, you can go into psychology. Yeah, so there's so much that a lot of girls, they are passionate about it, but unfortunately that support is not there in some of the families. So that is very unfortunate. Those girls, they get married at a very early age and they don't live up for their dreams. So that is also there, which is there in the society. So
See, Devika, I don't know, you impromptu called me for an interview and I came. But see, these psychological, what you said is that there's so many girls who aspire to do so many things, but support is not there.
yes,
I
absolutely.
agree. Parents means the in-laws parent, then also your
Both,
parents,
both.
and your maternal side also. They have to be very supportive.
Yes. Periods. Let's talk about it. This will be the last topic. I'm going into detail and taking a lot of time. But periods is still a taboo in our country today. We don't talk in front of our fathers or brothers, even husbands, and we try to, hide. And a lot of girls, they have a PMSing before they get their periods. So, your take on that?
Devika, premenstrual syndrome. See, I feel a mother. I have two boys, I have two sons, so I really. I'm not. Yes, I cannot say this, but a mother is a best friend to a
Absolutely,
daughter.
absolutely.
See, so a girl, a mother should, she should speak to when the child is, menarche, that is when they start their periods. So slowly, step by step, is to take the child and explain. See, you cannot, a child of 11, if she's getting a period, or a 12-year-old child, you may not be able to explain everything. But as the child is growing, you can explain everything to the child.
Yes,
See,
absolutely.
this may happen, this may not happen, breast, so many things, the human body is changing. So premenstrual syndrome is also, I feel, a mother, and you can always take professional help. If the child is having, I have so many patients, the mothers say, ma'am, periods आते हैं तो छुट्टी मतलब we have to take leave from school 4 days and the child feels so embarrassed. सबको पता चल जाता है क्लास में कि उसको periods आए होंगे. So much vomiting, the child is vomiting, the child does not get out of the bed, child becomes yellow. So you have to explain. In fact, you have to consult the mother first
Yes, absolutely.
rather than the child to consult the mother.
Yeah.
This is a common thing.
Yeah.
Premenstrual syndrome, not common I won't say, but it is there.
There
it is a syndrome.
Yes.
So try to understand.
Is it with everybody? No.
I cannot tell you the exact percentage,
But few
you
girls
ask me
are.
such questions. But yes, see, the children are so much stressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Padai stress, performance stress,
Yes.
body stress, got to look nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything.
So PMS is also one of those stresses.
Okay.
So it is how strong emotionally, psychologically, physically a child is. So
That is
PMS,
very
yes. So PMS, if you start asking the history of the child, the mothers may tell you, khati nahi hai, nutritionally very poor, doesn't go out, doesn't meet with friends. So
that has to be
looked at.
Yes. So the last question is, can you give 5 tips for maintaining hygiene, especially in a teenager's life?
Hygiene. Devika, you mean your private parts, hygiene of private parts? See, others are very aware. The teenagers are very aware, because everything is on the TVs.
Yeah.
Clean and dry, Flana use this, lactic acid, pH, they know everything.
Yeah.
The teenage girls are
They are very
aware.
smart.
What we were never even not aware.
Completely.
So they know everything. Not they should be using good underclothes, cotton underclothes, not to use synthetic stuff. If the child is sweating, if the teenage girls, some people have there is a disorder where you sweat a lot.
Yeah.
So they have to be shown that, because if you sweat a lot, you sweat there. So you don't know bacterial growth and everything. So sweating has to be taken care of. Good dusting powders you can use. You can use good pads, towels, and not your hygiene at home. Not to use each other's towels, as we say, not to use each other's towels. And during that menstrual period, maximum infections are occurring because of change in pH during that menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
So mothers should tell them what kind of sanitary pads to use, how to dispose them off,
Very
not to hide them. Sometimes you hiding your pads here and there. But everything has to be told. So personal hygiene, I feel the child should be made aware by the
age of 12.
yes, definitely. Yes.
And even in schools now, I think
Yes.
they are teaching, and even good touch, bad touch is being taught in all the schools.
Oh yes, I took a lecture a long time back. It's a long time in Christ the King school. The nuns had come to me very sweet and they said, "Ma'am, we want you to take a lecture on the hygiene since you reminded me." So there was class 9th, 10th, and 8th, 9th, and 10th class because school is still 10. And the kind of question the girls asked me, you can't imagine, Rebecca. They were standing and they were asking, and it was a 1 hour. It was a session. It was a one-to-one session. It went off excellently, and everything they asked me from obesity, from spottings to menstrual irregularities, girls are very aware.
They're very aware. Yes.
Class, especially 9th and 10th.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel if any girl is going through any changes in the body or the mind, they must talk to a psychologist or a counselor, or even to a gynecologist if they are having irregular periods or mood swings or anything related to PCOD,
Definitely, Devika. Since I met you, and we're so lucky to have, really lucky to have a child psychologist for that matter in this town. Definitely, mothers should be made aware.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they are the first ones, they are the guiding force and the best friend for a daughter.
Why mothers, fathers also.
Even fathers.
Why mothers, fathers also.
Absolutely.
Girls are so close to their fathers. Men are,
Yeah, absolutely.
as a family, they should
Interact.
see the mother is only taking responsibility of the child and the father doesn't know anything. Tomorrow you say, every time you take the child to hospital, it's so the parents should be together, sink in.
Yes, absolutely. So we close our interview with that, and it was a mind opener interview for me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Devika. Thank you so much for calling me.